What's good, everybody? It's NoChainzz, and I'm back for another commentary. And this is episode 3 of my Rick Moss Road to Glory. And in the last episode, you saw that we defeated Michigan State, and that moved us up to number 1. And then I believe we beat Utah. I can't remember, but yeah. We're in a rain game against Stanford, and if you guys remember, they beat us in the first week of our sophomore season to basically remove us from national championship contention, and that was heartbreaking for the season. And right here I get a catch, and what? He's gonna take this one all the way to the touchdown, but that's not it. He just stopped right in front of Rick Moss because he was scared. He was just like, I don't even want to go head up with Rick Moss. I'm scared, so I'm just going to stop. And then, yeah, so I don't know what was up with that. I don't know if it was a glitch or what. But nonetheless, we end up going in for the touchdown. The fans wearing a Rick Moss jersey. But we're just going to analyze that play a little bit more. Look at Rick Moss. He's going to do sort of an extended slant play. I know I drew 5 and in, but he does an actual sort of a post route. But the safety goes out and the linebacker goes right above the flats, and we're going to look at the play. As you see, they go back into their zones, leaving the middle wide open for Rick Moss. But here, this other safety, I'm circling him right here. He's going to come to a complete stop as he sees Rick Moss coming, and Rick Moss is going to take this one right between the safeties and go right in for the touchdown. Right back into the action here. Rick Moss is called for a screen, but he actually extends it over the middle and gets a pretty good gain off of that. And I didn't mention the score. We're up 7-0 over Stanford, another ranked opponent, number 24 in the nation. But I catch that comeback route and frustrates the defense. He's absolutely depressed over that catch, and we end up capitalizing on that play. And we are up by 14 points right now. Rick Moss goes across the middle over to the sideline and took his ankles, and he gets a pretty good gain to put him over 100 yards on the day. And he goes across the middle again as they left the middle wide open, and he catches this one, beats number 21, and gets tackled. The safety actually made the tackle this time and didn't stop because he saw Rick Moss coming. So into the second quarter here, we are still up 14-0, and Rick Moss goes deep and catches that one somehow and gets tackled at the 5-yard line. And look at this again, the safety just couldn't get to the ball because Rick Moss is such a big guy. It's hard to get around him when you're behind him trying to get to the ball. And look, he's frustrating another defender. The morale of this defense is definitely down, especially because of the stats that they've given up to Rick Moss so far. But he ends up dropping one finally on the day. That was his first one, and we call a bubble screen right here. Well, not a bubble screen, over the middle screen. And he walks into the end zone after getting tremendous blocking from his offensive line. And he gets this one, but it goes out of bounds, or he can't get his feet down in bounds. And we still end up winning that game over our rival Stanford. It feels really good to blow them out by 31 points after they basically knocked us out of national championship contention right in the beginning of the season last year. So this was definitely good payback for them. And already it seems like Rick Moss is going to get some season highs this season, break his milestones and become an Oregon legend this year. I'm really hoping that he can get onto the Heisman watch this year, and the way he's playing, it really looks like he's gonna do that. And looking at the wide receivers for the Biletnikoff, it looks like he's gonna be in the top 3 for the Biletnikoff, most definitely. So we're playing Washington, another rival we have, as Rick Moss catches that one over the middle for about a 13 or 12-yard gain. And later on in that drive, Rick Moss beats his man off of the jam wide open, takes the hit. We know Rick Moss doesn't usually catch those, and he takes a hit and comes down with it. And he's injured. It went really fast, but he's injured, so he ends up having to sit out, and he'll come back to a 7-point deficit for his team, and he's calling for this one, and he goes up and catches it, but they take him out of bounds. And a few years ago, that might have been the touchdown, because I think it was like they made it where if they tackle you out of bounds, you still get the yards because they push you out of bounds. But that rule is no more. And Rick Moss catches a touchdown to bring the deficit from 14 to 7. And they put a linebacker on him, and that's definitely never a good thing. Rick Moss may be big and strong, but he's not slow. But Rick Moss is wide open deep after beating the safety on that weird coverage they do. And whenever they do cover 2, I do the same thing. I go over there right above the flats, and it's always wide open. And I think this year Rick Moss actually really did develop his deep threat ability. And that's one thing that he didn't have most of the time. His freshman year and his sophomore year, he wasn't a deep threat. He was more of a go up over you threat. But now he can actually beat the defenders and not have to go up over them all the time. But I catch a screen as we're down 17 to 14, and Rick Moss has 150 yards. Into the third quarter here, it looked like we are on a good drive, and I catch about a 10-yard pass to get us into the red zone. And on 2nd and goal, I call for that one, and he throws it behind me, and it almost got picked off. But we end up getting, I believe it was a field goal off of that. And Reed, I guess, hits John Clay, and he gets about an 8-yard gain. But we're still down by 3 with 1 minute to go, 1 minute and 30-something seconds. But I'm going deep, and he has somebody else wide open, but he doesn't hit him. So on 2nd down, he doesn't pass it to me either. But he hit somebody else on the sideline for a pretty good game. But I call for the hurry up with 1 minute left. We still have all 3 timeouts, so it looks like we're going to at least come out with overtime. And Jason Reed hit somebody for, I should start doing the replays. I'm sorry, that game was kind of weird. It didn't really have a finish. But look at Rick Moss. He doesn't have any hair. But that was a glitch. But we ended up scoring a touchdown on that play, and we stopped them, and we ended up winning that game. I know they take me out or they run it, and when they run it, I just sim the play. So all you guys need to know is that we won that game, and that's really good. And I'm going to see you guys in episode 4.